Hello, friends. Hope you are doing well in this pandemic from your home. My name is Krushang Dalwadi, member of ECEL ADIT. Today, I am going to commence the sixth chapter of Self Fabrication YouTube series. Empathy is the topic that we are gonna hit in this video. I hope that you will get to know more about empathy and its importance in communication at workplace in this video. I would say that empathy is the most powerful concept that we can embrace if we want to connect more and better with other people. So let's go to those details. The definition of empathy is to understand other people's feeling by putting yourself in that particular condition or instance and taking their perspective or point of view. When you see another person suffering, you might be able to instantly envision yourself in the other person's place and feel sympathy for what they are going through. While persons are generally pretty well attuned to their own feelings and emotions, getting into someone else's head can be a bit more difficult. The ability to feel empathy allows people to walk a mile in another's shoes, so to speak. It permits the people to understand the emotion that others are feeling. For many, seeing another person in pain and responding with indifference or even outright hospitality seems utterly incomprehensible. But the fact that some people do respond in such a way clearly demonstrates that empathy is not necessarily a universal response to the suffering of others. The three types of empathy that psychologists have defined are cognitive, emotional, and compassionate. As an aside, it's worth noting that empathy is a relatively new idea and still being defined by social and cognitive psychologists. First of all, we will see what is cognitive empathy. Cognitive empathy, also known as perspective taking, is not really what most of us would think of empathy at all. Cognitive empathy is being able to put yourself into someone else's place and see their perspective. It is very useful skill, particularly in negotiation. For an example, for managers and chief executives of companies, it enables you to put yourself in someone else's shoe but without necessarily engaging with their emotions. It does not, however, really fit with the definition of empathy, as feeling with being a much more rational and logical process. Emotional empathy. Emotional empathy is when you quite literally feel the other person's emotion alongside them, as if you had got the emotions. Emotional empathy is also known as personal distress or emotional contagion. This is closer to the usual understanding of the word empathy but more emotionally. For an example, imagine you are a student and a friend in your class who has just failed a major test or exam. Your friend is distraught because she studied really hard and still failed. Even though you got a good grade on this test, you remember what it is like to fail. You don't try to fix things for your friend. Instead, you make an apathetic statement like, I am so sorry about your grade. I know how hard you studied and how disappointed you must feel. Now, we are going to learn about compassionate empathy. Finally, compassionate empathy is what we usually understand by empathy, feeling someone's pain and taking action to help. The name compassionate empathy is consistent with what we usually understand by compassion, like sympathy. Compassion is about feeling concern for someone, but with an additional move towards action to mitigate the problem. For example, when your loved one comes to you in tears, you want to understand why she is upset, and you also want to provide comfort by sharing in her emotional experience and hopefully helping her heal. So let's go ahead. Following are the key points of empathy that will improve your communication with people. First, empathy gives our communication more compassion. Second, empathy helps us to shape our communication more effectively. Third, empathy helps a message to connect. And fourth, empathy rises us to rise above our prescribed professional roles so we can connect people to people. There are some signs that show that you tend to be an empathetic person. First, you are really good at listening to what others have to say. Second, people often tell you about their problems. Third, you are good at picking up on how other people are feeling. Fourth, you often think about how other people feel. Fifth, other people come to you for advice. Sixth, you try to help other people who are suffering. Seventh, you often feel overwhelmed by tragic events. 8. You are good at telling when people aren't being honest. 9. You sometimes feel strained or overwhelmed in social situations. 10. You care deeply about other people. And last and final, 11. You find it difficult to set boundaries in your relationship with other people. Thank you for watching this video. That, ladies and gentlemen, were what I wanted to share with you in this video. Thanks for your attention. If you like this video, then please like, share and subscribe our YouTube channel ECEL ADIT. Thank you.